Antonio Brown's strategy is the wrong one. The Herd starts now.
On a Friday, we're in L.A., we're live. This is The Herd, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. We're on iHeartRadio, we're on Fox Sports Radio, we're on FS1. It is great to have you in today. The very latest on Antonio Brown, Albert Breer in 25 minutes. Joy Taylor is joining me. How are you, Joy?
I'm doing great. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. We are packed today on a Friday. It is great to be here. It's a very busy March. We expected Antonio Brown to be traded today. Late last night, the Buffalo Bills got close but backed off because Antonio Brown told his agent, I'm not going to Buffalo, which just seems so sad if you're Buffalo. But I wanted to talk about something that is, yesterday I spoke to some radio executives, and the week before I spoke to some radio and TV executives, and they always have the same message. Do not run your business through Twitter and social media. It is overwhelmingly nonsense. It is politically far left than most people in America. And the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles, oh, they are just great on Twitter and stars and politics, and everybody's gassing them up. You do realize Antonio Brown would not exist in New England. He didn't come into the league like this. He was enabled. That's why it's important when you're a parent to set the tone, set a culture in the house. Antonio Brown was a 6th-round pick. He was known as the hardest-working Pittsburgh Steeler. He does not exist in New England. They don't enable stars. They don't empower the individual. It is team. It is us. Antonio Brown did not enter the league outspoken, demanding. I'm not saying it's perfect there, but I don't think Big Ben has been always aided by the culture. I've been saying this for years. Pete Carroll in Seattle and Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh are really good coaches, but they are pro player to a fault, almost an NBA field. Be loud, speak out, anonymous sources, talking after games, Facebook Live, and both have blown up. Steelers are trapped now. Because now nobody's going to give you a first or a second-round pick for Antonio Brown. Everybody in the league's going to wait until you drop your demands to about a 5th-rounder, and then somebody's going to come in. But nobody's giving you a first or a second for that. By the way, we've got 9 teams now that have been reported that are out of it. Green Bay was never in it. Some suggested they were. I was hoping they were. They were not. But now Denver's out. Jets are out. Oakland's still in, we think, kind of. But now Buffalo is out. But I go back to this. The Philadelphia Eagles won a Super Bowl, and they kept saying, remember when they won the Super Bowl? Yeah, fun. We don't do it like New England. And they blew up. And halfway through the year, players for the Eagles came out and said, we're not buttoned up. Multiple players. This is not the NBA. This is a completely different business model. Players in the NFL just don't matter as much. Outside of about 6 to 8 quarterbacks in this league, no player is worth a point. A point in a game. In the NBA, Antonio Brown is so gifted, people wouldn't care. He'd be worth 7 wins, 24 points a game, 9 assists. I mean, Westbrook's got all sorts of issues. Plenty of people want Westbrook. James Harden doesn't always play anything other than iso ball. A bunch of people would want him. You can be outspoken. When you go into a business, they're not all the same. You have to understand the business you're going into. And the NBA is about promoting and marketing stars. The basketball culture in America is find the talent and get him paid, get him elevated. We'll work about the maturity and the emotional and physical development later. That's what it is in basketball. Not saying it's right or wrong. That's the American basketball culture. Find him, pay him, develop him emotionally, physically later. But let's get him locked in. He's ours. Let's pay him and let's go. And if you don't do that, it's a lot of pushback. Baseball and football are different. Find, develop, teach, practice, second contract, we'll pay you. And we can still cut you with very little guaranteed money. So this goes back to something I've believed forever. You can keep getting gassed up, never run your business through Twitter, get your players mostly off social media. The NFL's never going to be the NBA. The NFL is not beholden to one player like LeBron James or one team like the Warriors to get ratings. It's not about the individual. It's about the whole. And Antonio Brown has put the Steelers, who have enabled their stars, in a bad spot. You think it's a coincidence that Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown and Big Ben are three of the most outspoken, temperamental guys in the league? That's just a coincidence? They would not be enabled in New England. I want to shift gears to this. It's a huge discussion point in L.A. and around the country as well. The Lakers season was a disaster, but it's more than that. LeBron James, who was always really good at PR for almost all of his first 15 years in the league, this year was completely tone deaf. Optics are terrible, disengaged, doing projects during the season, going to Instagram after personal achievements. And I got into this discussion yesterday with a friend, and I said, what happened to LeBron in a year? Did he get dumb? No. He doesn't play defense. Did he get lazy? No. Did he forget how to play team basketball? No. What happened to LeBron is what happens to a lot of executives and people, high-powered people. He got caught up in the L.A. thing. Kobe Bryant, for people that don't live in Los Angeles, never lived in Los Angeles County. He helicopters in from Orange County. So does Mike Trout, isn't in L.A. County. LeBron James, I know exactly where he lives in the heart of agents, industry insiders, producers, directors, and heavyweights. Lives right around the corner from Beverly Hills. LeBron's a 9-minute drive, depending on the time of day, to lunch with Leonardo DiCaprio. Kobe Bryant's a 2-hour drive. Kobe Bryant never, ever, ever allowed himself to be distracted by the L.A. thing. Shaq did, and that's why when the Lakers had to make a choice, Shaq and Kobe, they chose Kobe. Shaq was too often distracted. You know, there's more choices than ever in this country. The economy's better than ever. Healthcare is better than ever. Poverty numbers down. Hunger down. But yet, depression statistics indicate we've never been sadder. And that's because choices for a lot of people create anxiety. And they also create distractions. I don't think it's a coincidence that virtually all the New York teams, despite their power and leverage, Mets, Knicks, Nets, Jets, Giants, are poorly run. There's too many options, too much money, too many distractions. And I don't think it's a coincidence that LeBron was completely tone deaf this year. Colin, come on, he's always had TV projects. Yes, and you can gamble in a lot of places, but when you move to Las Vegas, it's different. LeBron got caught up in the L.A. thing. I've seen guys blow their marriages up, guys end their careers this way. L.A.'s got lots of options. It's one of the reasons Kobe Bryant helicoptered in for games and then helicoptered out. He never got sucked into L.A. I was told as LeBron moved here the first week by a high-powered agent, not mine, although mine's good too, but I was told by an agent that LeBron already had 4 billionaires lined up who wanted to do business with him. LeBron's a 34-year-old kid from Akron, Ohio. How do you say no to that? Of course you don't say no to that. People get sucked into the L.A. thing. Shaq did, and in the end, the Lakers had to make a choice, and they went with a less distracted player, the kid living down in Orange County, Kobe Bryant. LeBron didn't get dumb. LeBron didn't get lazy. LeBron didn't become a bad teammate. Those go against everything I believe to be true. But he did get sucked in. He's got his house right in the middle of agents, an 8-9-minute drive to meeting the biggest stars around the corner from the guy that runs my former company. I know exactly where he lives. It's just too easy to get sucked in and gassed up and distracted. It happens to a lot of people. It even happened to LeBron. He didn't suddenly become a bad teammate. He didn't suddenly get terrible on defense. LeBron looks like this year, he's aged 8 years. He looks tired. He doesn't look in great shape. He looks distracted. And he's not the first person to deal with that in Los Angeles. Nice to have you in on a Friday. This week has just absolutely flown by. It was interesting. LeBron James is now 4th all-time in scoring. And I went to the list today of the top 10 scorers in NBA history. And it used to be that if you sent your kid to college, it was a very redeemable idea to send him to a liberal arts college where you would know a little bit about everything. But we've sort of moved into a generation of specialization. You got it. Here, Joy and I, when we do our morning meetings, we've got a graphic person, we've got a writer, we've got a producer. We're looking for specialists. The world right now is paying a lot of money for specialists, not just, he's got a general understanding of the top 35 books that have ever been written. But it's interesting when you look at the top 10 all-time NBA scoring list.